Hey y'all, welcome to Broken to Minister, where I share what I've been through and how I went through it and the lessons I have learned throughout all the shenanigans that had transpired in my life. So I'm going to start off with Genesis 50, verse 20, which says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." This is near and dear to my heart. But before I get into the entire thing, I'd like to say that May is not only my birth month, but it is also, pardon me, it is also Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health has been a huge thing in my life. I have studied about it, I have prayed about it, and guess what? The Lord works in mysterious ways. Anyway, to begin this month, the mental health awareness, I'd like to share a story of mine. I will tell you um why I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and PTSD when I am ready. But for now, I want to dwell on the day that I was diagnosed with depression. So, because of what had happened in my life, from childhood to adulthood, especially the early years of adulthood where you're still trying to figure out who you are, I a lot happened. A lot happened. And last year, wasn't yeah, last year, 2024. That's when um things just came at me and was just a lot. And so I decided to go to the clinic. But before I went to the clinic, I just want to emphasize the importance of having an outlet, having people that you watch, people that you depend on for your spiritual growth. And for me, there hasn't really been a one-on-one person for me who has been there for me and shown me the ropes. I have had to grow in the spiritual way, in the religious way, through watching people tell their testimonies online and also watching people do great things like sermons um, on TV, on YouTube. And one of these people was Miss Sheila Walsh. So Miss Sheila Walsh, they have a program called Better Together on TV, and it's also on YouTube. So I watched that, and on this particular evening, I happened to come across a video of Miss Sheila Walsh talking about her story, depression, with Dr. Anita Phillips and the other ladies. And as she was talking about how she was diagnosed with depression, something came to my mind. I like to believe that it was the Holy Spirit trying to tell me, you need to seek help as Sheila Walsh has. So I listened to her story and I'm telling you, crying, because most of the things that she's saying is some of the things I've been through. From her dad committing suicide, my dad committed suicide. It's just a lot, a lot of things that we had in common as she was talking. And I remember saying, Lord, if you need me to go back to the clinic tomorrow, please send a sign. I remember still listening to her speak. I heard Dr. Nina Phillips telling her what, not telling her specifically, but also putting in her 2 cents here and there in what mental health looks like, advice and stuff and biblical, because that's what she does. Dr. Anita Phillips is amazing. She can link the Bible to everyday life and show you who in the Bible went through some of the similar situations that you've been through or that you are going through, right? So I was like, look, this is confirmation. So tomorrow I'm going to go to the clinic. So I wake up, take a bath, and listen, I put on jeans and just a baggy sweater. I'm like, I don't want, no, a baggy hoodie. I don't want anyone to look at me. I did not do my hair. Had my hoodie up on my head. I was like, I don't want anybody saying anything to me. I'm just going there to take my medication, take back my, because I had relapsed from taking medication, and so now I had to go back to the clinic to take medication. So that, um, so then when I got there, I was like, I'm just here for the medication. I don't wanna say nothing. Um, I don't care who says what, when, and how. I just want medication for what I had, and then I'm just gonna go home. No, listen, it was all in God's plan because when I got to the clinic, they looked for my file and got the system changing. They no longer give you your file so that you can move around with your file to from the vitals to whatever room you're supposed to go to get your medication from. No. Now they take your file to your next destination, basically. So as I am there, at the clinic, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you're betting me fine. I'm waiting your corner. I hear someone calling my name. I stand up, I go to them, they're like, follow me. I'm like, okay, follow them. I'm like, yeah, I'm gangster, you know. I'm like, fine, I follow them. We get to where we supposed to be, and it is outside of the social worker's office. And I'm like, what in the world am I doing here? No one is telling me anything. Fine, I'm like with an attitude sitting there. I'll guess that I'm sitting chilled. Like when I get in there, I'm not saying anything. I'm not gonna tell her about my life. I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna cry. I'm just gonna be strong like I've always been all my life, you know. I'm not gonna shed a tear. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna answer questions and keep quiet and keep it all to myself. Ah, the Holy Spirit will like, it's my turn to go into the office, into the social worker's office. I get there. And I am not kidding you. She asked me one question. One question, which gets me to this day, but I'm not going to cry on here. One question, she says, do you ever, because they give them these survey papers that they're supposed to assess us now. So she asked me a question on the survey. She says, uh, do you ever feel hopeless? And I am not kidding you, immediately tears. I'm telling you, and it was ugly cry, like tears, not everything. It's just nasty. I was like, yes, every day. And then she continues to ask me questions like, have you ever felt useless? Do you ever feel like, yes. Have you ever wanted to harm yourself? I'm like, ever since I was a teenager, I was a carter. I have these marks that my son sees now. And he goes to my mom and says, Nana, my mom, she cuts her wrists. I'm like, Lord, it's a lot. Anyway, I say all these things that I had no intentions of saying. And the Holy Spirit's like, yes, good, that's what I wanted you to do. I pour out my heart, and immediately she says, you have signs of a person who's dealing with depression, anxiety, and PTSD because of the things that I've been through in my life. I was like, okay. And then she asks to see me again, but not before I go see a doctor who amazingly was part of the staff at the clinic, and she was like, "I'll make an appointment for you to go see the doctor tomorrow." I was like, "Okay." Following day, I go to the doctor's office, and they assess me, and yes, indeed, I was diagnosed with depression, and I was started on antidepressants. I'm telling you that to say that we plan, but God is like, I know what I need you to do. I know um, how you need to maneuver through this life thing. And since it is mental health uh, awareness month, I wanted to shine the light on the importance of having yourself checked out for any and everything, especially in this climate where everything is expensive, jobs are scarce, and we are expected to just sit and like even when you start a business, sometimes it does not, you don't have the luck that others have, where it just takes off and you immediately have buyers or clients, who you can depend on. Yazi, in this climate, the only thing we can hold on to is the Lord's word. Even when sometimes you do have certain things that other people don't have, it just knowing that you don't have what you want and you cannot do for yourself, that you have to depend on others, that alone messes with your mental. So when you feel like things are getting tough, are getting hard, go to the clinic, go get checked up. I remember they told me that I would have to be on antidepressants for 3 months, and then they took me off of them, and now I have to go back on the antidepressants because it's a lot. I remember I just came back from a women's retreat that you can see in one of my videos right there on YouTube. Um, I came back from the retreat, but the week before the retreat, I was in a dark place. I didn't even want to pray. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't even want to go to the retreat anymore. And I swear to you, it felt like the entire heaven, like heavenly beings, were in my room comforting me on that day, on the days when I did not want to pray, I was at my lowest this year, the lowest of lows for this year. And even after the retreat, I had met up with a woman at the retreat who, when I saw her smile, everything was like, it's gonna be okay. And took her number, asked to be her little sister. She said, yeah, only to drop me. Only to drop me when I came back from the retreat. And I was like, okay, okay. And that also just sent me on a spiral, on a downward spiral, where my mental health was just, I thought I was going crazy. And I had to pray about it, and I was like, Lord, please, Lord, please. And even then, I felt like the entire heavenly beings were there comforting me, telling me that it's going to be okay. And it wasn't until yesterday where I got the guts to go to the clinic and I was like, yes, I'm drowning. I need help. I need to go back on my antidepressants. And they gave me a date which I'm going to go and have check up with the doctor. Hopefully they will put me back on my antidepressants again, because I felt like when I was on them, life was a bit better. I could manage, but now that I'm off of them, and Sheila Walsh also talked about this, the importance of realizing when you need something. She said they took her off of her medication and she was insufferable, and then she saw Kuti as in, I am better off with my meds than without my meds. And I think I'm at that point now where I am better off with my meds either than when I'm not taking my medication at all. I need my antidepressants. Gimme, you know. Um so yeah, there is no excuse for you to say I don't have um access to any doctor, I don't have money. These things are offered even in our government clinics. Go to the clinic, see your social worker, make an appointment with the doctor, ask them to make an appointment with the doctor for you, get checked out, and then start on your journey. Mental health has been an important thing for me because even when in my teenage years, I really did feel and see and notice that I was suffering from depression even before I knew what depression really was, because of the um, images that were portrayed on movies. In movies, you'd see umuntu othi they're suffering from depression, they could not even get out of bed. And I've had years like that where I could not even get out of bed, not because I did not want to, but because nothing inside of me wanted to. I couldn't physically get myself out of bed. Instead, I would sit in bed for days and days and no one would care because they're thinking, no, she's a teenager, and it's not that. Check on your children, check on your loved ones. They're not isolating because when I'm a sometimes we don't even know how to say what we need to say. We can't even say I need help sometimes. So yeah, this was fun. Thank God I did not cry. But remember Genesis 50 verse 20. What you meant for evil, the Lord changed it for my good. Yes, to save others. Yes, I'm just paraphrasing at this point. But what you go through is very important. Your testimony is very important. And if you can help someone else with what you've been through, help them navigate what they're going through and show them that they're not crazy, and that they actually have people who have been through what they're going through. That helps. That really helps. And taking antidepressants doesn't mean you're crazy. It just means that hormones are imbalanced and you just need something that's gonna balance them. I think. Know yourself, know when you are good, know when you are not good, and seek the help that you need to seek. Yes. So yeah, please subscribe, share, and comment. I hope this helped someone. And I pray that I do not delete this video because I am infamous for deleting videos after I make them. I feel like I share too much and then I delete. Anyway, that's too much. Bye guys.